America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, I made the mistake a few weeks ago when I said something like, I think I either said it on TV or on a podcast, and then I tweeted it out. It went something like, you know what? I don't blame Trump for acting like a fascist, for acting like a king and a tyrant. He's never been held accountable. Look, he's never, ever been held accountable. He believes he can get away with anything and everything. We've allowed him to think that way. So, of course, he's going to act like a fascist. I don't blame him. Don't blame the fascist, I said. Blame the fascists' enablers. Still makes sense to me a lot. I know what I meant when I said that, but I got jumped on by a lot of people who said, hey, blame both. Always blame Trump. Always blame Trump for lying. Always blame Trump for abusing the powers of his office. Blame both the fascist and the fascists' enablers. And you were right. The people who responded that way to my tweet, whatever I said on TV, were absolutely right. Blame the fascist. Always. Blame Donald Trump every fucking day for lying every time he opens his mouth. Blame him. Blame Donald Trump every fucking day when he demands that some private individual be fired, when he threatens to take down some university or some law firm unless they get down on their knees and bow to him. Absolutely blame Trump. Blame Trump for putting troops on our streets and continuing to do that, to incite violence. Absolutely blame Trump. Blame Trump for blaming brown and black people for the decline of America and then disappearing those brown and black people off of our streets. Yeah. Blame Trump for every dishonest, ignorant, cruel, psychopathic, authoritarian thing he does. He is, in fact, a fascist. Always blame the fascist first for what he does. But can we please, pretty please, begin to blame the fascists' enablers every bit as much? A fascist, a tyrant, a dictator can't breathe without his court, can't breathe without his sycophants, can't breathe without his lovers, his cult members, cannot breathe without his enablers, can't thrive, can't exist. Trump can't be a fascist. Trump can't abuse the Constitution every day unless people let him. Trump can't lie every day unless people accept those lies. Trump can't dominate the private economy unless people enable him and let him dominate the private economy. We got to get to a point in this country where we blame the fascists' enablers every bit as much as we blame Trump, where we blame every single fucking Republican member of Congress who has abandoned their oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. They are enablers. We need to blame them. We need to blame every law firm that got down on their knees and said, Mr. President, my dear leader, we will do whatever you want us to do. And he bought them off. Blame those law firms. Blame every university, every college and university in this country that settles, that came to some financial settlement with the fascist. blame them too. Blame Intel, any private company that lets the government, that gives Trump an equity piece in that business, blame them too. Blame every ICE cop who detains 84-year-old Hispanic grandmothers off of our streets. Blame them too. Blame the enablers, all the businessmen, all the businesswomen, all the politicians, all the celebrities, all the academics, all the media people. Blame the media for no longer condemning Donald Trump every time the fascist tells a lie. Blame all of them. Every bit as much as you blame Trump for fascism here in America. And you know, the contrast with all of his enablers is so great when you finally see someone stand up to the fascist. When you finally, right, get somebody in America who says, after Trump threatens or fires or abuses the powers of his office or harasses or intimidates, and somebody out there says, no, I won't get down on my knees. No, I cannot be bought off. No, I will not go along with your unconstitutional activity. No, I will not be fired. I will stay in my job. Every time we see someone stand up to the fascist and not be an enabler, that person needs to be highlighted. That person needs to be thanked. That person needs to be applauded. That person is the resistance. That is what the resistance looks like. Lisa Cook. Keith, show me that picture of her, will you? Lisa Cook. There she is, a member of the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. She said no. She stood up last night to the fascist and said, nope, I'm not going anywhere. Keep that up for a little bit, Keith. I'm not going anywhere. Look at that face. That's the face of the resistance. Every law firm, every media company, every private company CEO that's enabled Trump, every university college president that's enabled Trump, every Republican elected official, every member of his administration that has enabled Trump should take a look at Lisa Cook's face and understand what the resistance is. You see, Donald Trump yesterday, keep that up for a sec, Keith. Donald Trump yesterday said he fired Lisa Cook from the Fed's Board of Governors. Said he fired her for cause. Some allegations about mortgage fraud. There's one big problem, though. MAGA, this is a problem. Listen to me. Trump doesn't have the authority to fire her. Trump yesterday tried to fire, said he fired, is trying to fire Lisa Cook, member of the Fed Board of Governors. He doesn't have the authority to fire her. He does not have the authority to fire her. Now, look, I know we're on dangerous ground right now because Donald Trump does not have the authority to do 80 to 90% of what he's done the past 8 months, but still people enable him, but still people bow to him, but still, right, people have gotten down on their knees and let him do what is lawless and unconstitutional and for what he does not have the authority. Lisa Cook, member of the Fed Board of Governors, didn't do that. Thanks, Keith. Trump yesterday fired her. Lisa Cook came out last night and said, and I quote, President Trump purported to fire me for cause when no cause exists under the law, and he has no authority to do so. I will not resign. I will continue to carry out my duties to help the American economy as I have been doing since 2022. Just some truth and some facts, let me put out there. And I put this out for everyone. I especially put it out for my MAGA brothers and sisters. So many of my MAGA brothers and sisters are just utterly untethered to the truth and the facts. The President of the United States does not have the authority to remove Federal Reserve Board members. So says, by the way, again, the Supreme Court just in a ruling just this past May. Congress instituted a statute that said only by cause can the president remove someone from the Fed board. By cause. And what is cause? What is cause, MAGA? Cause is proof of a crime that was committed on the job. So a president has the authority to remove someone from the Fed board. Follow me, MAGA. I'm going to go extra slow. The president of the United States has the authority to remove a member of the Fed board when it has been proven that a crime was committed by that Fed board member on the job. A tweet of an allegation, MAGA, is not proof. Trump yesterday, when he fired her, said maybe there are allegations that maybe she committed mortgage fraud. There are allegations that maybe she committed mortgage fraud. MAGA, again, everybody else, allegations that maybe she committed mortgage fraud are not a proven crime. And oh, by the way, a president only has the authority to remove someone from the Fed board when they committed a crime on the job. Lisa Cook was approved for the Fed board, 3 years ago, highly qualified. There were no allegations, no anything when it comes to this potential mortgage fraud back then. Here's what's important. So again, just swipe that away. I know that I'm not going to reach a decent percentage of my audience right now because they are untethered to the facts and the truth. The point I want to make right now is, Lisa Cook, love you. This is what the resistance looks like. Love you. Lisa Cook. I mean, my God, she could have just said, the hell with it. I'm out of here. I don't want anything to do with this guy. Look at the abuse and the harassment she's now going to face and put up with because she stood her ground and she said, no, I'm not going anywhere, buddy. You don't have the authority to get rid of me, buddy. There is no cause, buddy. She stood up to a fucking tyrant. That deserves our respect. That deserves our applause. What Lisa Cook did deserves our thanks every day, right? I know you hear, Joe, what can we do? What can I do, Joe? What can I do? What can we do? Oh my God, We've got a guy in the White House, a fascist in the White House who lies every day, commits cruel, unconstitutional acts every day, abuses the Constitution every day. He's utterly lawless. He engages in open corruption. He's putting troops on our streets. He's disappearing people off of our streets. He's taking over private companies. He's bringing universities and colleges to their knees. He's impinging upon all of our individual liberties. Joey's a fascist. And oh, by the way, he wants the military to be his military, not America's military. What can we do, Joe? What can we do? I've done my best to focus on that these past 8 months, things that we can do. I'm going to focus even more on that. What can we do? Whether we are just an average citizen living in suburban Chicago, or we are a member of the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors, we can and we must resist. And what I need to do a better job of doing, what we all need to do a better job of doing right now, is clarifying and being very specific as to what that means. What do you mean resist? What can we do to resist the fascist in the White House? What every one of us should do today is applaud Lisa Cook and stand with Lisa Cook and send word of what Lisa Cook did to everybody we know. Everyone in your circle should know that there's at least one member of the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors who stood up and resisted and said no to the fascist. I'm not going anywhere. Word needs to be spread of that. We need to spread the word of what Lisa Cook did. You need to spread the word of what Lisa Cook did. This is what resistance looks like. And that's all you need to say. That's all you need to say. And by the way, this gets at the other point I wanted to make. I'm my new political party. I'm a Democrat now. 2.5 months now. And I just got to say this. I say this with love and respect. The political messaging of my new political party still just sucks. They just don't get the moment. They just don't understand this moment. I mean, here I am every day on every platform I'm on every single day screaming about the fascist in the White House, the guy who is spreading unconstitutionally and lawlessly this right-wing, ultra-nationalistic ideology. It's here. And yet, Democrats just don't seem to get it. Primarily Democratic leaders, the Democratic Party establishment. So, and if I'm nitpicking here, I apologize, but I'm going to nitpick. So Trump is trying to fire Lisa Cook. Lisa Cook said, fuck no. Hakeem Jeffries, number one Dem in the House, put out a statement. Keith, can I see Hakeem Jeffries' statement? Here's Hakeem Jeffries' statement. One of the leaders of the if not one of the most important leaders of the Democratic Party, Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader in the House. Dr. Lisa Cook is the first Black woman ever to serve on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. Donald Trump is trying to remove her without a shred of credible evidence that she's done anything wrong. To the extent anyone is unfit to serve in a position of responsibility because of deceitful and potentially criminal conduct, it's the current occupant of the White House, blah, 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 blah. Get at it, man. You're missing the point, man. And again, with all due respect, Lisa Cook is the first Black woman to serve on the Federal Board of Governors. That ain't the point here. Why lead with that? We're talking about a fascist in the White House who is trying to control the entire United States economy. And Hakeem Jeffries, you lead with identity? You focus on the identity. I got all the respect in the world of Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett put out a statement earlier this morning focusing entirely on Trump going after Black women. Lisa Cook's a Black woman, and Black women aren't going to be treated that way. I hear that, and Jasmine Crockett is a Black woman. But with all due respect, Democrats, Lisa Cook's identity is much, much less important. It's secondary right now to an utter abuse of power by the President of the United States. The fact that Lisa Cook is the first Black woman on the Federal Reserve, Federal Board of Governors, Federal Reserve Board of Governors, is way less important. That we are living right now in a country right now where the President of the United States is trying to take over the United States economy. That's way more important. I get, again, I'm a white guy. I get it. There are times you got to emphasize race, but this isn't a race thing. This is a fascist thing. This is an authoritarian thing. This is not a race thing. This is a president acting like a fascist, trying to put his thumb on the American economy. And oh, by the way, again, that's what else Democrats should be emphasizing. Trump is fucking up the American economy. He's making everything more expensive. He's sending us into a recession. His policies are hurting Americans economically, and that's why he's trying to blame and take it out on the Fed board. Focus on all of that, my Democratic brothers and sisters, and not on Lisa Cook's race or identity. I know there are going to be people who disagree with me. I know there are going to be plenty of my fellow Democrats who disagree with me. We got a guy in the White House right now who's a fascist. That's way more important right now than him going after a Black woman on the Fed board. The fact that he's going after the Fed board, hell, he wants to get rid of Jerome Powell, and he wants to take over the Fed board. The fact that he wants to just decimate and kill the independence of the Fed and take over the economy like a dictator, like a tyrant, that's way more important than what Fed board member he went after. Democratic Party messaging generally still sucks. And it's still too often stuck in an identity politics. Identity politics is important, man. It's part of everything we talk about. But when my country's, your country's house is burning down right now, when democracy and the rule of law are burning down right now, when the guy in the White House, like any good fascist, is trying to systematically take over America's private economy, when all of that's going on right now, I'm not emphasizing the race, gender, or identity of Lisa Cook. I'm applauding Lisa Cook for being an American resistor. White, black, brown, male, or female. Democrats, focus on what matters right now. This is an emergency right now, every single day, right? I come on every single day. I come on, and I could, by the way, come on for 3 hours every day and just list 100 fascist, tyrannical dictatorial things, lawless, corrupt things Donald Trump does every day. Like, this is a unique, unprecedented moment. Don't have time right now to highlight Lisa Cook being a black woman. Trump is a racist. He's a bigot. He's hateful. He's a bully. He's a coward. I go on. Amen, amen, amen. All of that. But right now he's a fascist. Right now he's a fascist, trying to bring this democracy to its knees. So I applaud Lisa Cook. She is what resistance looks like. And I respectfully slap my new political party upside the head, because many two Democrats came out last night and this morning and are emphasizing Lisa Cook's race and gender. Time and place, Democrats. Time and place. One more quick note I want to put up. Keith, you got that Trump talking about changing the name of the, thank you, sir. I became a Democrat 2.5 months ago. I get asked by people every single day, why still? And I probably will for the rest of my life. Why'd you become a Democrat, Joe? Why? My answer is always the same. Because my former political party is a real and direct threat to democracy, the rule of law, the Constitution, pluralism, and basic human decency. That's my former party. And I'm going to do all I can with my new party to defeat that former party. That former party needs to be defeated. And every single day, I say, the Republican Party shows us in ways big and small the real threat they are. This was, again, the President of the United States yesterday. MAGA. Tell me if you agree with this. Donald Trump was asked. Trump's thinking of changing the name of the Defense Department. So a reporter said to Trump yesterday, it requires an act of Congress to rename the Defense Department. That's true. Trump's answer, we're just going to do it. I'm sure Congress will go along. Trump wants to change the name of the Defense Department. He can't. It takes an act of Congress. Donald Trump, the guy in the White House yesterday, said, I don't give a damn. We're just going to do it. Every single day, in ways big and small, my former party shows us how much of a threat they are to democracy, the Constitution, and the rule of law. That's why I became a Democrat, to do all I can to help defeat that. And that may not be a big issue. I said in ways big and small. So Trump wants to change the Defense Department, the name of the Defense Department. He can't do it. And that may not be a big issue to you, changing the name. But again, it takes an act of Congress. But again, he doesn't have the authority to do it. And he says publicly, I'm going to do it anyways. That needs to be stopped. That threat needs to be resisted. We all in our circles, big and small, got to be like Lisa Cook. Yeah, it's 9 days. Thank you, Keith. It's been what, 9 days? I was banned permanently from TikTok 9 days ago. Why? Because I criticized Donald Trump. So Donald Trump and his people contacted TikTok and said, ban Joe Walsh. And TikTok did, without any explanation to me. The only thing I can think of is that I said on TikTok that it's probably pretty likely Trump's a pedophile. I think it is probably pretty likely. But now we're in day 9 and I've been banned without any explanation because right, this all matters. Living in a country right now where the president of the United States can call a social media platform and order that social media platform to ban a private citizen. MAGA, MAGA. Hey, last thing, my Substack. I'm so excited about my Substack, Social Contract with Joe Walsh. We are growing a resistance community. And we continue to emphasize more and more and more the answer to what can I do? What can I do, Joe? I know Trump sucks. We know the Republican Party has utterly given up on democracy and the rule of law. I love this country, though. I want to save it. What can I do? That's what we increasingly focus on my Substack. If you are interested in being part of that community, by the way, and if you're interested in getting answers to that question, please go to my Substack, socialcontractwithjoewalsh.substack.com. Become a subscriber. It'll help keep this righteously angry, rage against the night voice out there. It'll help keep my voice out there. socialcontractwithjoewalsh.substack.com. Become part of our resistance community. I'll show you and tell you how you specifically can resist. Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Become a subscriber. That would be just great. Shoot me an email. Damn right, Douglas. Lisa Cook has my thanks too. Keep fighting all the time. Shoot me an email about anything you want. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. That's all one word. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. Lisa Cook, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.